On your feet! Get them going!
Good morning. It's not even noon yet. Afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be. It's Cross Examinations Live. I'm your host, Mike Miller. Here once again, not a pastor, priest, rabbi, theologian, teacher, yada, yada, yada. Just a guy on the internet talking about the Bible and hanging out with some fellow like-minded people and a few of you rascally detractors who like to... No sound, really. Test, 1, 2, 3. No sound, got sound. Unplug mic, replug mic. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That was my bad. Sorry. Tina? Please go sit back in the room. Oh. What's up, Tina and Joe? Only ones here so far, because I am just a wee little bit early today because I have to go. Now the sound is a bit off. Are you serious? Are you messing with me or are you messing? No, listen. Now. Weird, what happened? It sounds like it went quieter after I plugged the speaker back in. Let's see if there's any settings audio. On. You did better now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Sound is there, but a little wonky. Move the plug a bit. What is up, Mark? Hello. Yeah, so I gotta take my mom to go see her lawyer today, which means I have to leave a little early, which means I have to start a little early, which means I have to get bed early. Mr. Roboto's. Oh, come on, hang on. One more. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is that any better? Oh, I was wondering why I was starting out. Yes, that's it. Mike's always leaving us. Me and Mike mean. I know, it's terrible. I just have this thing called a life I have to deal with. Wow, that's better. Oh, really? Excellent. Let's see how it sounds now. Okay. I can't tell if it sounds any better. Hit that like. Yes, do. Please hit that like while you're here. While we're live, make sure we have 100% like ratio. Maybe YouTube will promote the show more. I have no idea. Arlene's in his house. What's up, Arlene? Welcome, one and all. So yeah, I don't think we're even going to be able to go an hour because I think once my mom gets here, my mom always shows up early. I always show up late. It was so funny. I was at church, and one of the kids wears a fake Rolex, and then they're talking to one of the pastors, AJ, about me having a real Rolex, and then like he's all, "How'd you get that?" And I told him the story, and I was telling him how, like, we were at the Rolex shop while I was with my friend, and he looks at my wrist and he goes, like, "How come you don't wear a watch, Mike?" I said, "Because I don't care about the time." And my pastor goes, "Yeah, we're well aware of that, Mike." Because because I never show up on time for the. I'm always a little late for youth group and for church. So, although I'm not gonna throw my family under the bus, but I just want to tell you, before I had a family, I was never early for stuff, but I was never late for stuff. I was always like, gotta go, time to go now. I know how long it takes to get here. I'm always there on time. It's no longer the reality I live under. So there you go. I used to have a fake Rolex too. One of my friends gave it to me. Nice. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, my mom was nagging me last night. She's like, "Why don't you wear your Rolex?" And I'm like, "Because I don't want to wear that much money on my wrist all the time." She's like, "It's good luck. You should wear it. It's good luck." It's good luck if I'm like walking in a bad part of town, somebody sees me wearing a Rolex and they stick a knife in my back. Because she always wears hers. So, I don't know. It's funny. It's like a woman wears a Rolex. You don't really think about it. Right? But I was watching one of these shows, reality show, and like one of the dudes was wearing a Rolex, and like all the other dudes around him, they're like, "Is that a Rolex? Is that a Rolex? Oh, can I try it on?" They were all like super excited and stuff. And it's like, I've never seen any kind of reaction like that with my mom wearing her Rolex. Like, kind of weird. So the JFK mystery is about to be solved, says Joe K. We'll find out. Mike, where are your Rolex? I don't own a Rolex. I can just tell people it's fake. No, that'd be lying though. Rolexes are good luck. That's why they charge so much. Exactly. I don't believe in luck. That's what I told my mom. Christians don't believe in luck. Man, I'm still go. Yeah, so the JFK thing. That one of the things I saw that was released, and I haven't double checked to see if it's true or if I'm spreading a rumor. So I should probably. That the files on Martin Luther King were out, and he was a bit of a sexual deviant, which I can see why they might want to keep that quiet. Although they did claim he had an affair, right? So, but when they came out with the actual files, if it's the actual files, it's a bit more than that. And you know what? I'm not going to say too much more than that because I haven't seen it. I mean, it looked real. But we're in a day and age where everything looks real. So, all right, Zeta, welcome to the show. I just don't think the newer Rolexes look good. Well, I got the old one. Yeah, I got a Submariner with the black and gold with and the band is gold and stainless. So yeah, it looks very nice. It looks like I got the gold and stainless because my mom's band is gold and stainless, and so it was like the closest thing I could that they had there at the shop that was like my mom's. Mike, aren't they saying that Obama is having an affair right now? I don't know. What? I'm not following the Weekly World News. Inquiring minds want to know. John Mintz is in the house. What's up, Johnny? Joe has 5 Rolexes in different colors. That's now. Is it just a watch that has a similar design to a Rolex, or do you legit have watches that say Rolex but they're not real Rolex? Because that's something I never understood. Why do you like? You can go to Italy, and they have like gypsies selling fake Louis Vuittons, Chanel's, like all these fake purses that are just fantastic knockoffs for like, $100. Or at least it was $100 25 years ago. Probably more today, but with Jennifer Aniston. Okay. Well, I mean, he is bisexual, so Arlene says it's said that all people, exalt other people almost to the point of worship, then are crushed when they learn that their idols are human with human flaws. Yeah. Everyone's gonna let you down, guys. Don't ever put anybody on a pedestal except Christ, because he's the only one that will never let you down. Even the most Christian people, I mean, hopefully they wouldn't do anything wilder, but we all have a past, right? We all have a past. We all have things we done in the past. We'd all did things as Christians in our past, because none of us are perfect. Sanctification is a lifelong process. Hopefully, God bless getting older. I'll tell you what, because it's funny, I put ban all porn, right, on my thing. Wants to ban porn. I was so happy personally. Like, people are always like oh man, you get over 40 and your testosterone falls and blah blah blah. And I was like, I got over 40, my testosterone fell. I thank God, because it was like porn was so much easier to ignore. Because that's something I'm having an argument with the Wheelers on X right now, and they're saying, like, comparing it to alcohol, and I'm like, you ever heard an alcoholic shouldn't hang out in a bar? I'm like, I can't remember the last time a beer commercial came on my YouTube. I'd have to actually, the only time those come out is when I was looking up the commercials for the Bud Light thing, right? But the porn industry is so freaking devious. They'll literally send me texts. I don't answer them, because if I don't know the person, I won't respond. But it's like, hey, how have you been? That kind of thing. It's like some nobody answer. That's that's not how people freaking text. So I know they're text and other stuff like that. Or people will send they'll send me DMs on X, on Instagram, on Telegram, any place there's social media. There's freaking porn fishers out there trying to get people to click their links. And I haven't clicked on a porn website in at least, I'm going to say at least 15 years, right? It's everywhere because they are pernicious about trying to, it's all satanic, right? It's all Satan trying to tempt you into stuff. Well, Satan's minions, which are people like the Wheelers, man, who are not Christians. So I'm not holding them to Christian standards, but I am having the argument of pornography is just bad for society. It is a net and net, subjective and objective, destructive force in the society. Alcohol doesn't do that. Jim Beam isn't phishing your account to try to get you to go to the store and buy some. Southern Comfort isn't trying to sneak in your DMs. Hey, when was the last time you had a shot of Southern Comfort? How about a little 7 and 7 there, Alfie? No, but most men, particularly under the age of 40, look, where we are, quote unquote, sexual beings by nature. God did design us to want to enjoy that part of our life, and I do, but with my wife only, and uh, that is. It's funny because I thought I heard them say they were Christians before, which is why I was kind of holding them to a standard. But she just came out today in an argument. She's like, "I'm not a Christian. I whatever. I believe in the principles. Blah blah blah." But she said she's not a Christian. That's as far as I went. All right, you're not a Christian. I'm not going to hold you to the standard. I'm just going to tell you to become Christ. She says, "Beers, beers, beers. Click here to see what the housewives are secretly drinking when their husbands are away." You don't get bottles of whiskey randomly thrown at your head most days. Yeah, right. It's like it would be like, I mean, comparing the average guy who is so easily led astray by, like, you go just visit some random website, like, because you want to read an article, and boom, on the right side there will be some super freaking risque stuff being like, right? I never see that for tequila, but the comparison would be like, is if, like, yeah, you're sitting there and you're an alcoholic and you're trying to mind your own business, and, like, your computer just freaking hands you a beer and says, "Want to give a sip? Come on, sippy sippy, come on." It doesn't happen. It's not the same thing. So, like, the alcoholic should stay out of the bar. It's super hard for just your average, 25-year-old who's trying to live a clean and narrow, non-porno life. They're always trying to get you. They're always trying to get you. And yeah, you can put porn blockers on your computer and stuff, but at the same time, it's like I said, those ads and stuff. I don't know how the porn blockers work. I know my son had it on his, but I don't know, like, if it like stops it from appearing at all, or if it, like, blocks any website that has an ad for porn on it, or what. I don't know. I don't know. Ask him, but he doesn't live here anymore because he's happily married, and he married as a virgin because he's a good Christian boy. And now, oh my God, you see the baby? You want to see the baby? I got to go. Baby. Oh God. G-Charm Mike in the house. So, the next generation of more. Yes, the name is he's great with swapping everything. I don't really go on. Yeah, I use Brave too, so I don't get pop-ups. Especially the last time I went for it. It's usually those weird news sites that, like, when you're searching for information, it's not like a pop-up. It'll just be like an ad on the side of it. But I do still get it. I could probably tell you how many random Telegram and Twitter, like, messages I get from I don't know. The tiny little thing is very attractive young lady. I can't imagine what this link is you're sending me. I would click on it. I'm never going to. Not only because I don't want to be associated. I don't want to touch porn. I got crypto on my computer, and I know what phishing does. And maybe that's why they target me, because I'm so vocally crypto based. So they know it's like I'm in crypto groups and stuff. and so they're fishing. That might be it. Why I get it probably more than your average Joe, because they're fishing, and they use porn as bait, so that if you click the link, they can malware your computer and hack into your crypto account and steal all your money. That's right. That's another reason I need it. Come on again with the mic check. All right, it's 20 minutes in. I'm going to get the Bible because I need to get going a little bit early today. Let me grab. Oh, wait. Actually, I'm looking forward to getting to because I was listening to it today, and there's something in there. I can't remember what it is now. Mike has crypto, so he gets porn, booze, and tokens. Your computer has crypto on it, right? No. Well, technically speaking, your crypto is on whatever blockchain crypto. You can access it through. What I do is I have a hot wallet, and then I lock it with my cold wallet. I have it plugged in. Yeah, I don't have to have it plugged in all the time. So I lock it with my cold wallet. So any transaction I do on my hot wallet, I have to approve on my cold wallet. It's like a key. So if someone else tries to move something, like somehow they get access to my hot wallet, they get my seeds and stuff, they can't move any of my crypto because they don't have the key to approve transactions. So lock it up, keep it safe. So honestly, I have other wallets that hardly have anything on it that are not locked. Like I use Phantom and Trust Wallet and stuff. I do those for little goofy other things. What's this new password at church? I'll call him back. Sound is in and out. That does not sound good. And a bit of a switch on a new mic deal. I have not had this problem before. I don't know what the problem is. Weird about Brave not working well on that. I used to use Brave on that too. All right. Let's get to this. That. Oh no, not one. That. Oh, this one. There. Let's get to it. All right. This one. I was listening to this morning, trying to find any squirrels I might chase, and honestly, it is just Bazilio making the quote and the epoch, which we've already gone through once. So, like I said before, it's the command to do it, and then it's the execution of it, and this is just the execution part of it. I'm just going to read through it. Probably not going to squirrel much. Maybe God will reveal something that I need to chase. We'll find out. And of the blue and purple and silver, they made flocks of service to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garment of Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. Oh. So listen to this. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. So the cloths of the service have blue, purple, and scarlet. The ephod has gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and white. There's got to be something there, right? There's got to be something there. Why is the God and the purity not on the cross of service, but they are on the ephod? This is one I really do think it'd be fun to go through, like Talmudic readings on what the rabbis thought of all this back in the day. Like, what does this symbolize? What does it do? Might be time to buy a new mic. Zeta, I actually did have that thought a couple days ago. Like, you know what? That might kind of suck. I might need to grab it here. And they did beat the gold into thin plates and cut it into wires to work it in the blue, purple, scarlet, and in the fine linen with cutting work. And so it's not like gold thread. It's like literally wired. So it's like this had to be a very stiff thing because it's being crisscrossed an applesauce with gold. It's like a Faraday cage. That's interesting. Well, all right. And maybe there are people who have speculated that the Ark of the Covenant was radioactive because of whatever God's presence like made it, and that's like why like they, the guy like touched it and died. What if this is like the Faraday cage that literally kept the high priest alive from being there so much? I don't know. That's not how gold wire is made. It literally is, Joe. Have you ever worked with metal? I was a jeweler. You literally can make gold wire. I was a jeweler in my misspent youth. And they did beat up and they made shoulder pieces for it to couple it together. By the two edges, it was coupled together, and the curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they wrought onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven, and signets are graven. Gold graven as signets are graven. Sorry, I read that one. With the names of the children of Israel. Hey, Jesus, eternity. Loves you for all eternity. Late, but made it. Hello, everyone. Hello. I actually started a little early today, eternity. So, the ark was carried using 2 wooden poles inserted through rings on its side. Yes, 2 wooden poles overlaid with gold. Yep, gold is pulled into becoming a wire. I mean, in modern context, yeah. But it's not pulled. What it is, okay, if you're making modern gold using modern techniques, which they weren't using back then, obviously, you run it through an ever shrinking press or hole. So it's not pulled. It's not the pulling. It's the squeezing. So you're just making it smaller and smaller, level after level. I know how all this works, but yeah, you can very much. It's still the same gold. It's not like the squeezing of it is what makes it small. If you just slice it, cut it small, you can very much make gold wire out of it. And I don't know what they're cutting it with. I imagine they were using shears, because if you pound gold thin enough that you're making wire out of it, you can cut it very easily. Gold thread is a thing. I guess if it's fine enough, it might work off. There we are, done. All right. And they wrought onyx stones and clothes with mouth with gold bracelets. So that. And they put them on the shoulders of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And it was foursquare, and they made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and the span of the breadth thereof, being double. So 2 layers of this gold mesh fabric right over your heart. And they set it in 4 rows. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of putting the radiation blocker thing, except you put that over your groin when you get an X-ray. They don't want to irradiate you. And they set it in 4 rows of stones. The first row was sardis and topaz. A carbuncle was the first row. The second row, an emerald, sapphire, and diamond. The third row, a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. The fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosure. And the stones were, according to the names of the children of Israel, 12, according to their names, like the engraving of a signet, every one with his name, according to the 12 tribes. It would be interesting to look up what the 12 stones are that encrust or cover the third temple, and see which ones are there that replicate these here, and then wonder why some of them aren't, because this isn't the exact same one. And they made and the stones were according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name, according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. And again, to me, that doesn't mean they. I don't know. Actually, now I'm wondering. I wonder if a wreathen. No, I think I looked it up, and it meant links, right? But to me, it wouldn't just be link to link. It would probably be the spiraling links. Have you seen those? Those necklaces kind of went out in the 70s, but they had they look like rope. Anyways, too much jeweler idea stuff. Yeah. And they made 2 ouches of gold. That's again settings for stone setting, and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold. That's what I'm saying, wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and they put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings, and they put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the fore part of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loose from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. Apron. That's the curious girdle. It's the apron that covers his John. I am starting more and more to think this is actually a Faraday cage for the radiation. Oh my gosh! Now I was like, why is he wearing an apron? Why? I've always thought, why is he wearing? I look at the picture and I'm like, why is this guy wearing an apron? And then it says the curious apron. Be curious. Why is he wearing a freaking apron? And then now these people who have speculated that the Ark of the Covenant is radioactive is starting to actually make more sense to me. That's weird. Let's see. Gold thread is a thing. I guess it's that. It's just easier to type at the first couple of letters to populate a name called Mutad. I think I mod in too many other shit. Can you imagine what that looked like in person? Very sparkly. Oh, the stone setting? Yeah. Hey, most of those are not precious stones, and I don't think they were cut to be like, I don't think they were stone grinding out in the desert. So they wouldn't be faceted stones. They would probably just be the raw stone. I don't know. I honestly don't know now. Unless they were cut like while they were in Egypt and they're like, hey, let's collect, because they all did have jewelry. So they might have grabbed the actual jewels from the people when they were remember they were collecting all the stuff from all the people to make all this stuff. Maybe they were like picking through, and someone's like, oh, here I have a diamond that's perfectly cut and faceted and beautiful. I don't know. I don't know how good they were at doing that either back then. You know, the machines we use, they're all very well machined to grind diamonds, to grind gems, so that we have a maximum refractory or reflectory, beautification. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. When was the craft of, what do you call it? I think grinding gemstones. Craft of grinding gemstones. What? No, I don't mean just grind and polish. I mean like, jewel cut. Techniques and braces. When was the first faceting? Yeah, 1300s. So yeah, it wouldn't look like the diamonds we think of today, right? That was you had to give them another couple thousand years to get to that point. By the way, where did they get the gold? They borrowed it from all their neighbors in Egypt as they left. That was at the beginning of when they left. That was a particular. I always kind of laugh at that when the commandment to the people: borrow gold and jewelry from your neighbors before you leave Egypt. I'll bring it right back. Levaldor says, Joe, I've been thinking of your suggestions since you posted it. They should definitely make that debate happen. Wait, what? What are you speaking of? Did the women get the gold from the Egyptian families before that? Yes. Would Mike ever do a debate with Matt Delahanty or Alex O'Connor? I don't know who either of those people are, but I'll debate anybody. I mean, I may not win, but I love a good conversation. So the Pharaoh was even more right. Borrowed it? I bet they used air quotes when they asked for the gold. Yeah, it is kind of fun. Oh, Mary, you mind if I just borrow all your jewelry? We're just gonna go worship in the desert for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And you have to imagine it was like 600,000 men So it's probably around 600,000 or 700,000 women, because men died early. So call it 700,000 women borrowing their friends' jewelry. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of gold. We made the robe of the ephod of woven work all of blue. So the robe itself was all of blue, but the stuff that protected him from an Ark of the Covenant had the gold interwoven. I'm telling you, this just makes more and more sense, and it actually really does more and more confirm the radioactive Ark theory that I have heard over the decade. And there was an hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of inhabiting, with a band around about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made upon the hems of the robe. How specific is this, right? It's not like, oh, we just made a robe. Okay, we made a robe, put a hole in it. We hemmed the hole of the robe so it doesn't rend. Like very specific instructions. And they made upon the hem of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. So blue, purple, scarlet, and white. And they made bells of pure gold, and the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, round about the hem of the robe, to minister in as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made coats of fine linen, woven work for Aaron and for his sons, and a mitre of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine linen. So these are all white. The mitre, the bonnets, and the breeches, the magic underwear, were all white. Too white. Yellow. Hi. I'll be. Yeah. Okay. I'll be done soon. My mom. You're. Okay. We're supposed to leave before 1. Okay. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it the writing, like to the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord. So that's the Naruto headband, right? The plate, but instead of the leaf, it says holiness to the Lord in Hebrew. And they tied unto it a lace of blue to fasten it upon high upon the mitre, as the Lord commanded Moses. Thus was the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation finished. And the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. And they brought the tabernacle unto Moses, the tent, and all his furniture, his taches, his board, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the covering of ram skins dyed red, and the covering of badger skins, and the veil of the covering. Ram's skin. That's interesting. So red is the color of sacrifice. Ram's skins. Rams aren't mentioned a lot in the Bible. Can you guys remember one particular place that a ram is mentioned in the Bible? You guys remember? What was the animal that took the place of Isaac, that got caught in a thicket? It wasn't a lamb, right? Isaac was the lamb. Actually, Jesus was the lamb. Isaac was the representative of the lamb. Right, Abraham and Isaac. Look at you guys. Look at you guys knowing your Bible. I can't think of any place else off the top of my head that rams are brought up except for here. So the sacrificial ram, what's the symbology there? That these sacrifices aren't the true sacrifice. Just like Isaac, that ram that they sacrificed instead of Isaac wasn't the true sacrifice. Christ is the true sacrifice. I don't know. this is all off the cuff. This is just coming off the top of my head, so I could be completely wrong here. But that seems to make sense to me, and I'm getting a little bit of that tingling that I get when the Holy Spirit's talking. So maybe I am right. That's a good symbology, right? Specifically ram skins, kind of indicating over this entire thing, because this is the covering of the tabernacle, that this isn't the true sacrifice. Christ is the true sacrifice. I think there's a ram in Daniel's prophecies also. Yeah, like something with the head of a ram. Is that right? Wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? I'm wrong. Genesis 5:9, and he said to him, "Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." For what? What was the sacrifice for? Yeah, I was just saying the only one that really sticks out to me is Abraham and Isaac. Anyways, moving on, because now I gotta go bring my mom to the Ark of the Testimony and the staves thereof. Ark of the Testimony. I was just reading, and I'm like, it just dawned on me how many times the Ark of the Covenant isn't called the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, a covenant and a testimony and a testament, they're all synonyms. But then it dawned on me, it's like, this is the covenant, this is the testimony, the Ark of the Testimony. And then I read in the New Testament that a testimony does not come into, what is the phraseology? The testimony is of no value until the death of the testator. And I was like, wow. That, like, I mean, I love seeing the Bible just tying itself all together, right? But the very beginning, not the very beginning of what you would call Judaism, the Israelites following Yahweh in his first instructions, it's his testimony. It's his testimony. It's the only thing God writes himself. It's his testimony. That's what the two tablets are called. God's testimony. And then in the New Testament, it says the testimony is of no value until the death of the testator. God wrote his testimony by his hand. It's the only thing he ever wrote by his own hand. And then Christ. The value of that testimony is the death of Christ. Brains! The table and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure candlestick, the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for the light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door, the brazen altar, and his grate of brass, his staves, and all his vessels, and the laver, and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars, and his sockets, and the hanging for the court gates, his cords, and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of the congregation, the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments of Aaron the priest, and his son's garments to minister in the priest's office. It's like a checklist. Look, we got everything, Moses. According to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so the children of Israel made all the work. And Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Lord had commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moses blessed them. Isn't it nice? See, mankind can follow the directions. Hey, you can eat any tree in the garden. Don't eat that one particular tree. And here's an example. And I think maybe that has something to do with why it seems so redundant. It's like God says what to do, and then it says they did exactly what he told them to do. I don't know. Maybe that's the message in Exodus, at least in this section of Exodus. You can do it exactly as God told you to. How about we give it a try? All right. I do need to wrap up. I'll give it about 2 more minutes here. Actually, the Bible mentions it more than we're all remembering. What land? Jesus loves the Bible anytime. Alex kind of does more formal debates these days. He did one with Apologetics if you want to check that out. Yeah, hey, are you in the Discord? Somebody drop the Discord link for Levo. Alex also did a cool conversation with Bart Ehrman about the contradictions in the Gospel. Contradictions. There are no contradictions. Because people tend to use the word contradiction wrong. They'll say, see, a contradiction is when one thing claims a thing and another thing claims the opposite of a thing. That is a contradiction. One thing saying there are 10 people and one thing saying there are 100 people aren't contradictions. They're differing accounts, right? If one thing was saying there are 10 people and the other thing was saying we're not 10 people, something like that. It's got to be a direct opposite statement. That's a contradiction. And a lot of people who argue this are just using the word contradiction wrong. Yeah, I'll send you some minutes. You can steal your neighbor's. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yeah, I gotta go. Thanks everybody for being here on this slightly early at Jesus loves contradictions and mistranslations. Give it a watch if you're interested. It's just conversation, not a debate. Yeah, I am very interested actually. Did somebody just mention this in the Discord so I can check it out? Because I don't have time to search anything right now. I have to end the stream. Gotta go take my mom to her appointment. So God bless everybody. We'll see you on the next exciting episode. See you Monday, right? Monday. For crossing examination.
Back in line, you dog! On your feet!